Go ahead.
And just to follow up on Weisha's question, you guys are adding more sanctions, saying that the sanctions are going to take time to have an impact. How much time do you guys think that these innocent Ukrainians have?
Well, I think what's important to note here is sanctions are just one component of the tools that we have at our disposal. What we are doing, and we're already seeing effectively happen, is the financial system in Russia is near the brink of collapse. I mean, they're projecting 15% inflation, a contraction of 15% in their economy. Private sector businesses are pulling out of the country. It is more and more difficult for President Putin to fund this war every single day. That has an impact. But what we're also doing is providing a historic amount of military and security assistance, which is what they've been using effectively over the last few weeks to fight this war and push back the Russians.
But do you guys assess that anything you've done so far has prevented a war crime from happening?
Well, Peter, I would say that everything we're doing to date is to support the Ukrainians in this war and in this effort. And that is something the president's proud of, we are proud of, including rallying and leading the global community in standing up against Russia.
Okay, on another topic, a lot of stories about Hunter Biden surfacing this week. So to ensure the independence of the investigation, would the president support the appointment of a special counsel?
Well, first, the president has never had a conversation with the Department of Justice about any investigations into any member of his family. He said that during the campaign, and he will continue to abide by that. So I'd point you to the Department of Justice for any additional steps they would take. They would make those decisions independently.
Is there any concern that they're not going to be necessarily seen as being able to make the decisions independently if the White House Chief of Staff is out saying that the president is confident his son did not break the law?
Well, that's something the president has said, and certainly we would echo. But in the same answer to that question, Peter, during an interview this week on ABC, Ron Klain also said the Justice Department is independent and they will make their own decisions.
And the president has said that he never spoke to his son about his overseas business dealings. Is that still the case?
Yes. Go ahead.
So tomorrow you're going to announce, the White House is going to announce new sanctions. The administration will do sanctions on Russia in some form. Should we view those sanctions as a response to Bucha, or how should we view those when they're announced?
Well, unfortunately, the photos, the horrific photos we've seen from Bucha are not the first violation of war crimes or atrocities that we've seen take place on the ground. So in part, yes, but they have been in the works and part of our process of putting in place consequences.
Which is to say there may be more. Should we anticipate more in terms of reaction to Bucha? This wouldn't be it in isolation.
Correct. We are continuing to assess and make decisions about additional consequences and steps we can put in place.
So given these awful videos and pictures we're seeing of the atrocities that took place in Bucha right now, is the U.S. policy still one of no regime change in Russia? And if so, why should someone like Vladimir Putin be viewed by the U.S. as someone who should be allowed to stay in power?
Well, I think our policy is no, we are not calling for regime change, and that has not been our policy and continues not to be our policy. But again, Peter, our view is that he is a war criminal, and he is somebody who should be looked at by the international system who evaluates war crimes.
I guess the question people say, then why not? If he's a war criminal, why should he be allowed to stay in power?
Well, our policy is not to call for regime change. We're not calling for regime change. But again, he is somebody who's committed atrocities against the people in his country. He's a pariah in the world, and every step we've taken has made that clear to the global community.
Very quickly, can you pull back the curtain on what happened upstairs when we weren't watching between the former president and the current president over lunch? Did they talk about Putin, Ukraine? Did they do a tour of the residence? What can you tell us about their time together?
You know, I haven't had a chance to download yet with the president. I did see former president briefly, but his schedule's a little lighter than the current president's these days. I do know that they had a great, expansive conversation. I haven't downloaded on the specifics of it yet. I'm not sure I'll be able to share those with all of you. They did go take a look at the Oval Office and take a walk around, and I know they enjoyed spending time together.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from Blaze TV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.